Hop in the van. It's a rolling.
What up, everybody? It's Josh here with Reggae 360, hanging out with my buddies Hayden and Jacob from Tunnel Vision, all the way out there in San Clemente, California. They're here today with Beebs and Peter Dante on the Higher Vibes tour out here in Sanford, Florida. It's a beautiful night. Very stoked for the show tonight, guys. How's the tour been going?
It's been good.
It's been great.
Right on. Any cool moments happened so far? That's like what week?
Like the first couple shows, we brought everyone up on stage and gave them all instruments, got everyone jamming. And it was, it was a blast. Yeah.
Nice. So it's been kind of like more of an intimate setting.
Yeah, it's been and then our set is more like a mashup too. So it's been a lot of fun. Just
straight music.
Right on.
Yeah.
Been fun having Dante with us in the van. Is hilarious.
He seems like a card, man. Yeah. So the first thing I really want to get going about your sophomore album, Days Away, that you released last year.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of my favorite albums from last year. Probably my favorite album from last year. Each song on that album is just perfectly done, perfectly recorded.
Babies.
I want to talk about the success of that, man. What did you see as far as numbers and compared to your first album? Was it a big difference? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I know that we were our first album made number 3 on the iTunes Reggae charts.
Right on.
And this album we hit number 1 and we held it for
on iTunes, number 3 on Billboard.
Yeah, we held it for a while. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was definitely you could see a difference in the progression of it, and I think you can with the music too.
Cool.
So
awesome. So you guys got to work with, a legendary ska band, Real Big Fish,
yeah,
the horn section.
Yeah,
you worked with them on your last album. What was that like working with them?
It was really cool. Super awesome guys. Every single one of them. Aaron's really cool guy. He helped a lot with the mixing and stuff. With David Irish. We got to do it at Pot of Gold Studios. David Irish, which is their engineer. They're kind of their little headquarters studio, so we got to do it there. They just moved it and had redone it, so it was a pretty new studio, and it was just awesome vibes and went really well. We just kind of got to go in there and do our thing and just do what we wanted to do. And that's what was awesome about it. And then having the horn section and them play with us was an honor as well. Matt Appleton, Billy Cottage, those guys are geniuses. Johnny, trumpet, and it was just really cool. They're one of my all-time favorite bands. I've been listening to them since I was a kid, so it was an honor.
Man.
And we toured with them before we released that, and that's kind of how we made that connection.
Okay, cool.
So we did that tour with them, the beer run, and all over for a couple months. So we
got this album
cool relationship with them. Yeah, we had all these songs, and we were happy enough that they wanted to be a part of it. So
that's awesome. Craig, I want to talk about Baja Craig a little bit, and McElroy from Tooth.
Yeah.
Who are these guys? Because I'm living over here on the East Coast. I have no idea who the fuck Baja
Craig. We only met him once. We were on a trip coming back did a tour down in Cabo. Okay. So we do that every year. We've been doing it for the last 5 years. And so we drive down to Cabo, we play some shows, come back, surf on the way there and back.
Nice.
And we had just gotten back from Scorpion Bay, and on the way back home, coming up from Cabo, we hit Scorpion Bay, got some really good waves, just had a really cool trip. We were coming back up, and we always stop at K38. That's the point when you're I'm almost home. We got 40 minutes to the border.
We're
so
hungry,
but you still want to. You need one more taco before you go across the border. So we always hit that spot. We need to get our last taco before we get past the border. We're not gonna have real Mexican tacos.
That's funny.
So we always stop there. Anyways, we stopped there, and there's this guy there, and he looks kind of rugged, but he was wearing an old ripped up Scorpion Bay shirt. Scorpion Bay, and he's walks in, and he started talking to us, just something just at the taco stand. We're like, hey, Scorpion Bay, we were just there. And he's like, really? How was it? Blah, blah. And we were like, yeah, it's good. And then, so I ended up giving him a CD, right? And it was our first album. I had given it to him. And he was like, I got this ranch, blah, blah. We were kind of like, oh, we don't know, cool.
Right.
And he just was like, oh, let me get your number, blah, blah. So I gave him my card, which had my cell phone number on it. And we left, went home. I didn't talk to the guy for, whatever. It was just a small, I just gave him the CD and my card, and I didn't hear from him for a while. Maybe 5-6 months later, I wake up and I like look at my phone and I had 30 voicemails on my phone, and I'm like, who? And it's from a Mexico number, like a 1562 something, or some, you know, some random weird Mexico number, the +0001 something something. And I was like, is this from Mexico? Somebody from Mexico called me 30 times, and he left me like 2 hours of voicemails just talking, just this, not telling me stories and all this stuff, like, and how like
I was a legend
and all this stuff, and how much he loved their music. I could hear in the voice. It's funny, in those voicemails, I still have them all. If you listen to them, you can hear our CD playing in the background. Like, he's listening to it, calling me over and over again. I was like, we got to do something with him. We had written the riff for Baja Reggae. It was an instrumental song that we had, and I was like, just have this. I was like, I used to live in my studio where I lived. I lived in my studio, so I would just sit there, had my console. When ideas would pop up like that, and just do it. So I literally just was like, we should just put that over. And I just literally just took the voicemail, recorded it off my phone, and just plopped it on top of the song, and it fit perfectly. And
That's
I was like,
awesome, man.
What? So then I ended up crossing it up, taking all my best parts, because he was 2 hours of voicemails.
Holy shit.
That's how.
You should hear some
like,
of the
so
stuff
30 missed calls, but 30 missed calls. He kept calling and then leaving me another voicemail. It was 2 hours worth of stuff that he left me within one night. So I just like had to go through and take all my favorite parts out, chop them up, and then I put them together into that song.
So,
that was, like,
so the
final is like the masterpiece of all my favorite.
Okay,
beats.
gotcha.
But there's so much random stuff, just him listening to him talk. Just
that's so funny,
it was pretty funny. So that's how that went down. So I still haven't found Baja Craig, but at the end, in that voicemail, the end where he's like, "Write one for me, boys." And I gotta
there
get,
it is.
And I
You
gotta
wrote one
get,
for
yeah.
him.
That's why I put that at the end.
That's
And the CD, one of the voicemails he left me directions to get to his house. So I haven't. We still gotta go find him. We're gonna go surprise him. We're gonna go drive. We've been talking about doing it. We keep forgetting. We need to go drop a CD off to him because we all not. We wrote him the song, but I don't know if he's heard it yet. So
That's so funny.
And McElroy, he was one of my dad's like old buddies. He's the old school shaper from back in the day.
yeah, he made boards for all.
All
big
pros,
pros.
yeah.
That's cool.
And
Legend.
yeah, he's a legend. He used to make guitars and stuff. And
that's badass.
And so he like lately, like he was living in Mexico for a while.
Yeah,
and
he got kind of sick and he stopped making boards.
But he would come up and he would hang out with my dad every day. They'd just be driving around, coming to every single one of our shows, just getting.
He's the king of air guitar.
Yeah, getting plastered, playing air guitars. And so yeah, he's got this big handlebar mustache.
Yeah, he's a classic character.
Classic.
Anyways, we're like, he has this thing where you ask him how the waves were. When we were kids, we'd see McElroy, how are the waves today? And you'd go, punching, bowling, rapping, dealing, sucking, tubing, wedging, ledging, reeling, peeling, spitting, tubing. And he would just say, he would go forever. Like, he would go forever. We're like, dude, that's so funny. So, like, one day we're like, we got to make a song out of that, you know? So that's where the spitting, tubing, wedging, ledging, reeling, peeling came from. But at the beginning, it was like, oh, we have to have McElroy get in the booth. So he was back from Mexico somewhere. I saw him. He hit me up. And
yeah, you randomly see him.
I randomly see him. I'm like, hey, come to the studio right now. And we just picked him up. I threw him in the car. Took him to the studio.
12 or a Steely.
He drinks Steel Reserves. Got him in the booth, and he was all nervous. And we got him in the mic booth, and he did it.
Stoked.
He did it.
Yeah,
So that's where I recorded that in my studio, in my old room. You know.
Yeah,
it's classic.
That's so funny, man.
Love you, Mac.
Yeah, we love you, Mac. Always.
Shout out to Baja Craig.
Killing it down in Todos right now. Just chilling.
Right on. So the last thing I really want to talk to you guys, some new music. You know, the last album was perfect in my eyes. I'm very stoked for some new music. Yeah. I heard an announcement on Instagram that we have an EP titled Shipwrecked. What can you tell me about it?
So it's 3 songs, and we haven't decided if we're going to release them as one track or separate. We'll probably release them as one track, but then have them, you know, you can still listen to them digitally separately. But because it's a storyline, they all go together, so it's going to be really cool. That it's a storyline kind of based off of a tour experience that we all had, and where things kind of went wrong. We call it shipwreck because we ended up, you know, running out of, as a classic musician story. We had
everything go wrong.
Everything we could have gone wrong. Spent a bunch of money on car troubles and just got totally screwed. Ended up stuck on the other side of the country, and we were always laughed about it because we're like, we're pirates. Like, on the other side,
we're shipwrecked. Our brakes went out, so we were like, fuck it, let's just get an anchor.
And we called the RV, our ship. Anyways, long story.
This was a shitty van.
No, this was my dad's RV.
The shitty van went out on us. The hop in the van went out on us this tour, and then so we took this RV. Everything went wrong with the RV, and we lost all our money, and it just. But anyways,
flew home. Me and Hayden had to busk our way back home from New York.
But man, and then also met my girlfriend at the time too. So it's a love story that goes into traveling and everything going on. But at the end, everyone's shipwrecked, but still happy because we're all with our homies and everything's good. You know, we're still making music, and the show must go on. So
awesome. It sounds like you kind of like to do that like story sequence thing.
Yeah,
you did that with Days Away.
Yeah, I did.
Kind of grouped all the songs a little bit.
I'm such an old connoisseur of old albums and like stuff like that, and I like the stories behind it, old storytellers and stuff like that.
Right.
I try to have some meaning behind it, and that's my favorite part is the writing.
Gotcha.
Doing that, so it's
having a meaning behind.
It's gonna be cool. It's a really cool little story. So it's got some stuff. I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
I'm very stoked.
It's coming out soon. I just got the masters today, so
very excited. Guys, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Right on. Dude, thanks for having us.
Josh, thank you.
Yeah. Awesome seeing you guys again.
Yeah, Reggae 360.
Reggae
Keep up with
360.
Tunnel Vision. They're making some huge moves here in 2019. One of my favorite bands. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember, it's one mission and one love. Peace, everybody.
Yeah.